Already mic testing. Okay, perfect. Let me go to my main camera. There we go. Already we're live, and as you guys can tell by the thumbnail, today I'm going to be working on more game logic in Unreal Engine 5 using C++. And that's for the past two streams. I have been working more on theory, like learning what the U property does, what are a few specifiers, and what are all the parameters slash arguments that they require. And that's today I am going to work on more of the practical stuff. So let's go to my gameplay screen. There we go. And guys, yesterday my mouse did get spoiled, so apparently I'm using a new mouse, which gets me to use a new tiny keyboard that I hate to use. So it's gonna be a bit hard to type, so I won't be typing as fast this stream. Okay, maybe let me just go ahead and extend this chat up here as well. Let's go a bit to the left. There we go. Yo, howdy Pixels, appreciate you joining the stream. Okay, let's go ahead and extend that from there. Let's extend it a bit from here as well. There we go, and then just zoom in a little. There, I think that's pretty much it. And now let me say something like let's go with something like, and guys, this is a chat from last stream, so I won't be bothering much with this. I'm just gonna go ahead and remove that. There we go. Okay, and if you guys didn't notice, I am just streaming horizontally today because I realized doing vertically and horizontally does make the stream a bit more laggy, so I'm trying to see if it gets a bit better. I think your room is different. Honestly, because I did like switch apartments. Because of that, my voice might be echoing a little. That's the reason I added a laptop there and like a punching bag here and all that stuff. But I will be working on decreasing the echoing and all that stuff. That said, should I get the camera a bit higher? Okay, wait, hold up guys. Let me get the camera a little bit higher. There. I think that's good, right? Okay, maybe. Because I just want to be completely in the camera. There we go. Okay, let's go a bit in front, get this table here. And now let's say something like, okay, let me go with something like, let's say, live exclamation. And guys, the reason I'm typing so slow is because I'm not used to this keyboard. And I wanted to hit shift, but I hit enter, so that's another thing. Okay, welcome back. The grind continues. Every stream you show up that already puts you ahead of 90% of people, all that basic stuff. But before anything, homework check. Last time I asked you one question before we got into UElog if you wanted to make a function call on dash perform. Also tell me, do you remember the difference between U property and U function without looking at your notes? What are the golden rule of C++ versus blueprints? Let me say something like, let's say, we have been working on the theory part all this time. So can we move on to working with the actual practical code now, question mark? For example, let's go with something like example. Guys, it's so hard to type in a small keyboard, but let's say something like, for example, I am used to actually, okay, for example, I don't really know when to use the U property or the U function specifiers, specifiers, in real code. I know what they do, theor, I think it's or, theoricaty, ially. I know what they do theoretically. How did I manage to spell spelling wrong? Okay, I think it's, there we go. Okay, I know what they do theoretically, but I can't use them practically. Okay, so can we get some hands-on practice? Okay, that's it. Let's hit enter now. Okay, either are you working or learning Unreal Engine? Okay, that's it. Let's see. Now we're done. Okay, now we're talking. This is exactly the right mindset. Open this right now, Visual Studio, with your project. So let's go and open Visual Studio. Unreal Editor, screenshot your practice_umg character file right now so I can see exactly where you're starting with. Okay, so if I were to go ahead and open Visual Studio right here, and let's open my practice_umg. This is the most latest project that I have worked on. Okay, let's see. Let's go ahead and grab all the code up here. Okay, would it be better if I start with like a blank project? Let me ask that there real quick. Oh my gosh, I opened like 3 different things for like just getting plot back up here. Okay, let me go there and say something like, let's say, would it not be a better, okay, let's go with something like better if I used a blank project, or would the third person project work as well? Question mark. Okay, the reason I asked that is because I have been like making notes all these streams, like 3+2 streams to learn the theoretical part, because I realized that I do know how to really program, but I need to work more on the theory and all that stuff. That's the third person project. Final answer. Don't argue with me. Oh, well, okay, I guess. Okay, blank project, you would need to set up a character class, a game mode from scratch, a camera from scratch, enhance input from scratch. That's easy. A capsule component from scratch, movement from scratch. Time wasted 2 to 3 hours of setup. Thing learned, nothing new. Third person already has a working character, a working game mode, a working camera, enhance input ready, movement already works. Okay. So here's what I need right now. Open your third person project and screenshot me your practice_umg.h file. Okay, so I'm gonna go to my practice_umg. Was it game mode? Okay, let's go ahead and check that real quick. Characters of H files. So that's right here. I will be running the code as well while I really go with Control A, Control C to copy. And then let's go ahead and grab Claude here, paste it, and say Shift Enter. This is all the content on my .h file. And then let's hit Enter. Okay, let's see. And guys, it's so annoying when Nightbot just flags all messages. It's like, I gotta like fix that actually. I keep fixing it, but Nightbot is so messed up. That's it, perfect. Now we have everything we need. Let's get to work. Before we write a single line of code, let me show you what already exists in your code. So you understand it, what you already have: components, camera setup. I do know these two things because I do use them a lot. Holds camera at a distance. Okay, that is our spring arm component. The actual camera is our camera component. Input actions, we have a jump action, a move action, a look action, and a mouse look action. Okay. Function blueprints can call, you function, blueprint callable, do move, you function, blueprint callable, do look, jump start. Do you see how you property and you function are being used in this real code? Okay, I see how the you function is being used. You property exposes variables to editor, you function exposes functions to blueprints. I see. That is the practical answer to your question from earlier. Now we build the same dash mechanics. Step 1, adding variables to your .h file. Find this section in your header file. Mouse look input action, you property edit anywhere. Okay, add this to the line. So dash inputs. Okay, so dash input action, you property edit anywhere. Category is going to be equal to input. So you input action is going to be dash action. Now find this. Okay, well, I guess I can go ahead and add a dash action. Wouldn't hurt that much. Okay, so let me go ahead and just get my Unreal Engine up here as well. There we go. And guys, I just realized an awesome thing. I am not streaming, I'm not streaming vertically today, so I can just get my ChatGPT all the way up here. This is going to get me so much more. I mean, I won't say this is bad. I like the smaller one. Yeah, I'm gonna stick to the smaller one. Okay, let's scroll. Whoops. Let's make it a little bigger. There. I think this size is good, right? Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm gonna leave this to be big and then maybe decrease my volume from here as well. Before I start anything, I'm gonna run the code real quick. Okay, so I can go ahead and move around. Besides my graphics quality, which is not really that good. Okay, I won't say it's bad. There, I'm gonna hit escape, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get my Visual Studio up here. Let's go ahead and exit this. Now, scrolling down, let me see, handle jump press inputs from either controls or user interfaces. Okay. I'm trying to find a U function for... I have do look, do move. What was I finding again? Alright guys, let me just go ahead and grab Claude here. See, so I was trying to find... Oh, it's U property under mouse look action. So it's U property that I'm looking for. There. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and let's say add a comment here with an asterisk. I don't know why did we add an asterisk. Does that make it a comment? It does make it a comment. Okay, why is there 2 asterisks here? And then there is a third asterisk here. There. Okay, so I'm gonna go with something like mouse. Was it mouse dash action or just dash action? So it's dash input action. Let's go with something like dash input action. And guys, the reason I am typing slow is because I'm not used to using this tiny keyboard, but I think it's actually kind of good. Okay, next up, I'm gonna go with something like a uProperty, EROPERTY, with a pair of parentheses where I want my dash action to be edit anywhere. I want to be able to edit it anywhere. And I want my category to be equal to something like input. Another thing, they don't add a space. Okay, I guess I'm gonna go with something like input. There. Gotta make sure that my category name is correct. And then I'm gonna go all the way down here. Let's go ahead and grab plot back up here. uInput action, which is going to be represented by a pointer. So I'm gonna go with something like a uInput action, which is going to be represented by a pointer. Represented by a pointer called dash action, ending with a semicolon. Okay, there we go. Now, once I'm done with that, what's the next thing that I need? Now, find this section, the constructor. Okay, add this right above the constructor, so I gotta go with something like uProperty edit. Excuse me, guys, edit anywhere dash float dash strength is going to be 6,000 centimeters per frame. How fast the dash is, how long the dash lasts in seconds. Okay, so dash duration and is dashing. Okay, so I need a dash strength, a dash duration, and a boolean variable that checks if I'm currently dashing. So I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna go ahead and zoom that just to look at a reference as well while I'm doing it. Because this isn't as hard for me to actually be needing a reference, but I just add it for like, I just look at it in case I don't mess up something. Okay, I don't really know if I'm in the correct file though. There's a UE log. Oh, I just gotta refresh. I forgot about the refreshing. So I'm gonna find the constructor now. Let's see. So, constructor. That looks like a class. Wait, I think constructor is supposed to be in the C++ file. Are we still in the headers or C++? Right above the constructor, so I gotta find a public data member. Do you guys see a public? Oh, I see a constructor. I guess I was just kind of blind. There we go. Now in my constructor, I'm gonna go ahead and add a few parameters. Firstly, I'm gonna add a uProperty. The reason I'm adding a uProperty is because I want to expose this to my Unreal Engine, which is going to be, let's say, having a parameter called something like edit anywhere. I want the category category to be equal to something like, let's say 6,000. So actually not 6,000, I mean category is going to be dash. And then I'm going to go ahead and represent it using a floating point variable. I'm going to go with something like floating point variable called dash strength. I think I spelled strength wrong, strength, which is going to be equal to 6,000.f, ending with a semicolon. The reason when I said I'm going to represent it by a local variable, now I'm going to create a floating point variable which is going to be exposed to my Unreal Engine with these properties to it. Next up, I'm going to go ahead and let's say, maybe add a comment so I really know what's going on here. I'm going to add a comment, /3. I'm going to go there. There we go. Hello, how are you doing? DJK or DJ Krypton, is that how I pronounce your name? I appreciate you joining the stream. Okay, that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and let's say call this something like how long the dash lasts, how fast the dash is. How fast the dash is. Okay, and then I'm gonna go right under that, add another comment with triple asterisks, where I'm gonna go with something like how long the dash lasts in seconds. I really know how to add the dash logic. I've done this before, but look at it carefully. The way that I used to use commenting and all that stuff is kind of different, because the way I used comments was like 2 forward slashes and then I added something. But then apparently Unreal Engine uses this commenting conventions. So I'm gonna go with the uProperty because I want to go ahead and expose how long do I want to dash to my Unreal Engine as well. So a uProperty which requires a few parameters. The first parameter is going to be edit anywhere. Did you change your room? Honestly, I did like actually change my room again because we did move apartments again. This is much bigger and better compared to the old one, honestly. And the good thing is this does not really have carpets, so nothing overheats. That said, one bad thing. Yesterday's stream went like a complete bust because I actually dropped my mouse on my floor, so it apparently broke down, so I had to end the stream pretty soon. That's it. Let's go with something like Edit Anywhere. Although one thing that I'd say isn't as good is because my mic doesn't sound as crisp because the room is pretty empty, so my voice echoes. That's the reason I got a punching bag here and left my laptop bag there. Try to fill the room up so like my voice won't echo as much. That said, I'm going to be adding a category, category, that is going to be equal to, wait, why did I add a space there? Okay, which is going to be equal to, let's say, dash. Okay, DASH, and I'm gonna go ahead and represent or create a, let's say, a floating point variable, another floating point variable that I want to be exposed in the Unreal Engine. I'm gonna call it something like dash duration, duration, which is gonna be equal to 0.2f ending with a semicolon. And then once I'm done with this, finally I'm gonna add another comment with triple asterisks that says something like, is the player currently dashing? Or check for if the player is currently dashing or not. There we go. So all I'm going to be doing here is adding a boolean variable called something like boolean is dashing, which is initially going to be set to false. Let's go with dashing. That is initially going to be set to false, ending with a semicolon. And that's pretty much it. Next up, now find this section. So you function blueprint callable, do jump end. Find this section, so blueprint callable. There we go. Okay, and then right below that handles dash input. So I gotta create another U function, okay? Let's go with something like a U function, function, which is going to be blueprint callable, and the category is going to be equal to input because my function does execute depending on, actually based on what input it gives. So firstly, I'm going to go with something like a blueprint callable, callable, and then I'm going to go ahead and add a comma where I'm going to add a category, category, that is going to be equal to, let's say, something like input. Okay, perfect. And then I'm going to go ahead and create a function representing it. So I'm going to create a virtual void function. I have worked with virtuals, but then I actually kind of forgot what it really does. So I'm going to be asking like Claude for a quick little overview on what the virtual does. I know what it really does. I just forgot what it does. Okay, that's it. I'm going to go with something like do dash. I want to go ahead and dash. Why did they prefix it all with do? I got to ask that too. Is the way that I name my functions wrong or something like that? That's it. I'm going to go ahead and end this with a semicolon. Now, once I'm done with this, now stop. Before you touch the C++, tell me in your own words, why did we use edit? Wait, hold on. Let me read that. That's the question part. Let's zoom in. Okay, now stop. Before you touch the C++ file, tell me in your own words, why did we use edit anywhere for dash strength and dash duration? Well, let's go with question 1. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and answer it because why did we use edit anywhere for dash and dash duration? Because we want to be able to edit our dash duration in our blueprint. Wait, I didn't see that it said blueprint read only, so I'm gonna go with we want to edit dash duration in our editor, editor, or in our blueprint. Full stop. And then I'm gonna go with shift enter. Let's add a question number 2. I gotta be sure that I'm clicking shift and then shift enter. Why did we not put U property on boolean is dashing? The reason that we did not put a U property in our B is dashing because we just created a variable that does not really need to be exposed to our let's say UE5, since it does something to change a certain thing inside of our function. Okay, perfect. And then why did we use U function blueprint callable on do dash? Okay, I guess let's go with something like question 3. I don't really know. Dot dot dot. Okay, next up, let me say something like I had a quick question for you as well. Dot dot dot. I actually have worked with virtual back when I used to only use C++, although I did kind of forget why do we use it, question mark. Can I get a quick little recap? There we go. Oh my gosh, it's so hard to write in this tiny keyboard, but I think I'm getting kind of used to it, honestly. That's question 1 and 2, nearly perfect. Question 3, honest answers like that. Question 1, correct. Exactly right. We want to tweak these values in the editor without recompiling code every single time. That is the power of U property. Oh, I see. Question 2, correct, but let me sharpen it. Boolean is dashing false. Your instinct was right. Here's the precise reason Boolean is dashing is hello? Okay. Boolean is dashing is internal game logic. The editor doesn't need to see it. Blueprints don't need to read it. It is purely the characters tracking its own state. Exposing it would just create confusion. I see. Rule of thumb, if only C++ code needs it, no U property. If the editor or blueprint needs it, add U property. Question 3, let me explain it. U function, blueprint callable, category, Look at the other function in your file, blueprint callable, do move, etc. Every input function is blueprint callable. Why? Because sometimes you want to trigger dash from. A UI button on the screen, a blueprint event, an animation notify, a cutscene trigger. If it is not blueprint callable, blueprint cannot call it, period. Now, your question about virtual, great question and perfect timing because it is all over the code. You know this from C++, but let me connect it to Unreal Engine 5. Regular function do dash, virtual function virtual void do dash. What virtual means? Virtual equals to this function can be overridden by a child class, and that is something that I might want to write. Hold up, guys. Let me maybe go ahead and add a date because I heard that adding date actually makes it much better to actually learn stuff. So I'm gonna go with 3/16/2026. Let's go with something like 3/16/2026. There we go. Okay, let's go with something like virtual virtual. That is going to be equal to this function can be overridden by a child class. This function function, this function can be over overridden. This function can be overridden by a child class. There we go. Okay, perfect. And then real example, parent class, a practice underscore UMG character, virtual void, do dash, default dash behavior, launch character forward, child class, a hero character practice, so virtual void do dash, override, custom dash behavior. Oh, I see. So multiple characters can use this function. Okay, that makes sense. Why does Unreal Engine 5 uses virtual dash everywhere? Your character class, a hero, a villain, a NPC, overrides do dash, uses default do dash. Every character can have its own version of the same function without virtual classes cannot override it. The keyword override in child class, always add override. Override tells the compiler I am Oh, I'm intentionally overriding a parent function. If the parent doesn't have a function, show me an error. Okay, quick recap table. Okay. So, okay, quick fire question. Before we move to the C++ question one, if you made a new character class called a speedster character that inherits from your character class, and you wanted it to have a faster dash, what keyword would you use? If you made a new character class, you wanted it to have a faster dash. Okay, I guess let's go with question one. I think I'm going to be needing an override, so let's go with something like question one. Okay, I would need to use an override keyword because I need to increase the, let's go with something like increase, increase the dash speed. Okay, and then full stop. Next up for question two. Okay, look at your .h file right now. Can you find any other virtual functions beside the one we added? I do see a lot. Do dash, do jump. Let me say something like all the functions are virtual beside it. Let me just go ahead and plot back up here and say something like all the functions above it are virtual. Okay, virtual. Okay, and then let's go ahead and send it. Okay, let's see. Question one, almost. Question two, correct. Question one, close but missing something. You said you need both. You said just override keyword, you need both. Oh, I see. In a speed, do dash override in a speed character.c++. Okay, dash strength equals 9000. This looks wrong. In header files, shouldn't I don't need override, right? You need virtual and override together on the child class. Virtual void do dash, do dash. Oh, I see. Okay. So we need override in both. And notice super do dash that calls the parents' version first. Write that down. Super with a scope resolution operator is the most used thing in Unreal Engine 5. Okay, let's go with something like super with a scope resolution operator is the most used thing. Let's go with something like PHING in Unreal Engine 5. Okay, perfect. Super, run the parent class version of this function first. Question two, correct. Every input function is virtual now that you know why. Any child character class can override any of these. Now, more theory. We got into the C++ file. Step one. Open practice underscore character.c++, screenshot me the entire file so I can see what is already there. Okay, so I guess I'm going to go to the C++ file and then let's go with something like, I don't really have my C++ here. Let's go with Control-Alt-L. To get the solution explorer here, I'm going to go under my practice file. Under this, I'm going to go to something like practice underscore UMG. There. Okay, now I'm going to exit this. Whoa, there are a lot of header files up here. Engine/local player, camera component, capsule component, game framework, okay, and then game framework, controller, spring arm component, input action. Okay, there aren't those many. I thought that there were like a lot. Okay, it's not that hard. I'm gonna go with Control-C, copy that. There's a lot of content here though. I'm gonna go up here. I'm gonna go ahead and grab that and paste it. And then let's hit enter. Now let's see. Perfect, now I can see everything. Let's build this dash. First, let me show you the pattern that already exists in your code. Step 1, input binding. In setup player input component, enhance input component that points towards bind action. I do know how to do this part. Jump action, e-trigger event, started on this object. I want to do this, what this function tells me to do. Step 2, the actual function. Okay, our dash will follow this exact same pattern. This is how you think like a programmer. Find the pattern that already exists and follow it. Now let's build. Follow me step by step. Step 1, bind the dash input. Find this in your C++ file. Looking, enhance input component. Right below my looking function, I want to go with enhance input component that points towards dash action. E-trigger event started. If my dash action has started on this object, I want to do what this do dash function tells me to do. Step 2, write the dash function. Find this. Under that, go ahead and add this below it. Okay, so launch character. Well, that's a new thing. I gotta go ahead and ask what that does. I gotta get a lot of things. Now stop typing. Let me explain every line. I'm glad Claude actually explained every line. Nice. Oh wow. Okay, so if B is dashing, return. If we are already dashing, do nothing and exit. This prevents player from spamming dash. I see. Like Blox Fruits, we do like spam dasher in case you guys played it before. That said, F vector dash direction equals to get actor forward vector, okay, and then F vector. Remember this from our data types. Get actor forward vector gets the direction your character is facing. So if you face left, you dash towards the left. Okay, I see. And let me actually check if it like fixed the camera quality or something, because today I did not stream vertically to actually check if it made a difference in the camera quality. Okay, well, I mean, I think it did. I think it did not. Okay, I guess it's just a dusty camera. That's let's go all the way down here. Boolean dash is true. Do I have that? I do have it. Okay. Don't dash if you're already dashing in the direction which way the player is facing. Set dash to true. Okay, why did we set it to true? We set this to true, so the if check above the block further the dash. Okay, and then launch character dash direction dash strength. Launch character dash direction multiplied by dash strength. Okay, launch the character in the dash direction. Launch character built into a character. You get it for free. Dash direction multiplied by dash strength. Or is it dash direction which is represented by a pointer called dash strength? Direction multiplied by force equals to velocity. Also, it's a formula. The two true values override current x, y, and z velocity. Okay, and then F timer. What is the comment under that? Should reset the dash after dash duration seconds. Okay. So F timer, which is represented by a local variable called dash timer handle, get world's time manager dot the set timer dash timer handles is local variable, and a list of this. That is something new. Why doesn't the pair of parentheses end here though? Is this by any chance a typo? I'm positive there used to be another pair of parentheses there. If this is a lambda, it captures the current object, so we can use boolean as dash inside it. I know lambda functions like short functions where you can just squeeze in a function. Why isn't there another close pair of parentheses here? It starts here, it ends there. There's an extra pair of parentheses there. I mean, I'll see when I actually work with it. Boolean is dash false, dash duration false. Ah, the pair of parentheses ends here. These are extra functions. It's lambda. This is the continuation of the parameters. Oh, I see. So that's first parameter. Second parameter. Third parameter. Fourth parameter. This is a timer. Think of it like this. After dash duration seconds, run this code. Boolean is dash false. Play the player can dash again. Okay. Now your C++ should compile, but first we need to create input action assets in Unreal Engine 5. Open Unreal Engine 5 editor. Go to content, input folder, right click, input action, right click, input action. Name it IA_dash. That's the easier part to do. Okay, open it and send value type to digital boolean. Screenshot me whenever you have done that. Okay, after that, compile the code, assign IA_dash to your character blueprint, add it to your input mapping context, test it in game. Every expert was once a beginner, said by Helen Hayes, I see. Okay, so apparently, firstly, the thing that I gotta do is get my reference up here. Okay, I guess let's just go ahead and do that. Maybe zoom out a little because I want to see some reference while doing this. Okay, so firstly, the thing that I gotta do is, let's see. Okay, so this is the convection that we're going to be using. Okay, now let's open step by step, bind the dash function. Do you guys see binding somewhere down here in the C++? By any chance, is the binding up? That is player movement. And then this is the character movement, points toward jump velocity. This looks so much cleaner than the code that I write. Okay, do you guys see bind? That is camera boom, that is follow camera. Why is there a socket name? Okay, there we go, this is a binding. Oh my gosh, how does this look so clean? I'm trying to see what you guys mean when when you guys actually tell me that the way I write my code is not really the ideal way that regular programmers write. Oh, there. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and call this something like looking. So, right below it, I want to go with dashing. Okay, now dashing. Under dashing, I'm gonna go with something like enhance input component. So enhanced input component, which is going to be, let's say, pointing towards a bind actions this function. Okay, where I'm gonna go ahead and let's say have a look action. Should I go with look action? My bad. Dash action. Okay, so if a dash action has started, let's go with e-trigger. Excuse me guys, a e-trigger event, which is going to be using a scope resolution operator to point towards triggered. triggered. By triggered, I meant started, because it's an action and it's not something that needs to stay while my button is being pushed. If an e-trigger event has started on this object, I want to go ahead and do what my A practice is. Let's copy that. Let's say the do dash function tells me to do. Okay, and then let's just end that with a semicolon. Now, once I'm done binding, I gotta add some kind of content to my function, so we're gonna scroll all the way down here. By this dash function, find this at the bottom of your C++ file. So, bottom of your C++ file. I see stop jumping. Right under that, I'm gonna go ahead and add another void function. So I'm gonna go with something like a void function, which is gonna be a practice_umg character. Where did I get that from? Practice_umg character. My class name is practice_umg character, which uses a scope resolution operator to point towards, let's say, something like the do dash function. Okay, now I'm gonna add a pair of curly braces. Inside my pair of curly braces, let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and add some kind of content. I'm gonna go with something like don't. Let's go with something like don't dash if already dashing. If ALREADY dashing. So while I'm already dashing, I do not want to dash. To do that, I'm gonna add an if statement that checks something like if my boolean of is dashing is set to true, then I want to go ahead and return, ending with a semicolon. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add another comment that is gonna be having something like an f vector, kvector, which is gonna, let's say, be represented by a local variable called dash direction. I'm gonna see which way I actually dash. Get the direction of the players. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove the comment because I added the comment by mistake. I'm gonna go ahead and add it here. Okay, so I'm gonna go with something like get the direction the player is facing. There we go, and then I'm gonna go with something like dash direction that is gonna be equal to get actor forward forward vectors this function with a pair of parentheses to invoke the function, ending with a semicolon. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add another comment that says something like set dashing to true. Okay, for my set dashing to true, I'm gonna go with something like a boolean of is dashing variable that I've created in my header files is gonna be set to true. Ending with a semicolon. Okay, so all I did was check if I was already dashing. If I was, my function doesn't execute. And then I get the direction, what way my player is actually facing. Set dash direction to true. Okay, and then launch the character in the dash direction. So I'm gonna go ahead and add another comment that says something like LAUNCH, LAUNCH, launch the character in the dash direction. Okay, launch the character in the dash direction, which is gonna go ahead and use a LAUNCHCHARACTER. The launch characters function, which requires a few parameters. I think it was speed multiplied by something. I forgot what was that. Okay, let's see. Direction multiplied by force equals velocity. There we go. I forgot that. So I'm gonna go with something like a dash direction multiplied by force, which is going to be my dash strength, STRENGTH. Did I create a dash strength somewhere? Okay, yo, hiding Sam, I appreciate you joining the stream. Okay, where did I get my dash strength from? I'm pretty sure I created it up here. I remember creating it. There we go. Dash strength 6000. Dash duration is 0.2. Is dashing is set to false. And let's fix my spelling of my dash direction. Let's copy that. Let's paste it here. There. And then I'm going to add my two other parameters to be true and true. Okay, and then let's go ahead and end this with a semicolon. Once I'm done with this comment, I'm going to reset the dash after duration seconds. So I'm going to go ahead and add another comment that says something like reset the dash after dash duration duration seconds. SECONDS. There we go. For this, I'm going to go with something like a structure, because FP usually represents structures by F. I'm going to go with something like F timer handle. Okay, timer handle. This function is going to be represented by a local variable called something like dash time handle. Guys, it's so hard to write with my tiny keyboard. Okay, and then I'm going to go with something like the get world timer manager. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get this function. I'm going to use the dot set timer function with a pair of parentheses. Now, this is the trickier part. It requires a few parameters. Set timer, okay. So I require a dash timer, the local variable that I created up there. The second parameter is going to be a pair of square brackets that has this in it. Okay, and apparently I gotta go ahead and add a pair of parentheses here. I should see a red underline. There we go. I knew that this part is there's something wrong with this. But let's keep going. Apparently this was supposed to be correct. Where I'm going to be requiring a boolean variable of is dashing, SHING. Okay, that is going to be equal to false. And then I have another pair of curly braces. It makes more sense if there's a comma here. Let's go with something like a comma apparently, and this is going to be something like dash duration, DURATION, there we go, dash duration, which is going to be false. Actually not false, the third parameter is going to be false. Here's the thing, there is nothing that ended the pair of parentheses here. By any chance, was Claude wrong? Because what I think is that you need another pair of parentheses here. Well, maybe not there. Huh. Okay, just curious. What if I copy that part and wait, hold up. Wait a minute. And this with a pair of parentheses. And that with a semicolon. Okay, let's give it a quick little second. If I were to end this with a pair of semicolon as well. Okay, wait, I do not need that. There we go. Okay, that makes so much more sense now. Wait, whoa. Hold up, this actually got me kind of tricked up. This is an individual function on its own, which I use the dot notation to get access to the setTimers method that requires a few parameters. It requires ftimer handle, which it does have. It requires in-out handle, t function void. So we use a lambda function, which basically tells on this object. And then I need a Boolean variable, a floating point variable. Okay, so that's about it. So is dashing is going to be equal to false. Wait, how does this make sense? I added a pair of curly braces there. This function starts there. It's supposed to end here. Okay, it does not. It starts there. First parameter, second parameter. Ah, this is how the lambda function works. Okay. So this is how the lambda function works. This is everything in this is like one function. This is like the content in one function. And this is the content in another function. Whoa, that was a little tricky to understand. Function 1, function 2, there. These are the parameters that it requires. That's where it all ends. This is where the entire void function ends. This is where the lambda function ends. This is the third parameter. Okay, well, maybe I delete that, add a comma here. I remove that and add a comma here. Okay, this makes it look so much better to understand. The parenthesis starts there and it ends here. This is a whole function on its own. I think it looks better if like the pair of parentheses was kept up here, to be honest. There, I think that looks a bit better. Okay, I think this made it so much more understandable now. Okay, that's basically pretty much it. Now, stop typing. Let me explain everything. So I'm done with everything. Let's hit Control S. Let's go with Control A, Control C to copy the code. And let me ask a bit more explanation on the lambda function. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and paste this here. Go with Shift Enter and say something like, okay, brother, can you share your Claude AI chat, please? Honestly, it's basically the basic chat. If you guys do need a roadmap that I'm using, that is exactly, basically my entire chat is based on the roadmap that I have. Make sure to join my Discord server and like mention me, I guess, on these either the coding help chat or the C++ chat and ask me for the roadmap. I could like DM it to you guys because I do like using roadmap for like Unreal Engine. Let's say something like okay, so I added these, although I was kind of confused on the lambda function. It took me a while to understand it, but just to make sure that I understood it properly, can you explain it to me, question mark? Okay, let's see. That said, your code looks perfect and you asked the right question. Okay, let me break down the lambda function completely. First, what is a lambda? Think of it like this. A normal function has a name, lives outside. Okay. A lambda function has no name, lives inside your code. This with a pair of parentheses and then a pair of curly braces. A lambda is just a function with no name that you write in line. You use it when you need a quick function in the specific place. I see. Now let's dissect your lambda function piece by piece. Get world timer dot set. This is the timer's ID. This is the lambda function. When you run it, don't repeat it. I see. The three parts of lambda function. This is capture, what it borrows. Pair of parentheses is parameters, what it takes in. Body, what it does. Okay, part 1, the capture. This is the part that confuses you. Let me explain. Okay, error, what is B dashing here? Error. What is B dashing? Without this lambda function, okay. With this works, this refers to your character. Oh, I see. Okay, second, the parameters. Okay, I think I see. Let me say something. I think that I see dot dot dots. That said, I definitely need more practice, so we can do a few more mini projects after this. That said, what should I do now? Question mark. Okay, let's see you. I think I gotta just compile it and work on the dash function. Good, more mini projects is exactly the right mindset. Now, before there are three things you need to do. Step 1, compile your code in Visual Studio. Press Ctrl Alt Shift D, solution. Oh, I forgot a quick little thing. Name it IA underscore move digital. Okay, assign your characters, open your character blueprint, find your input category, Okay, I forgot to do that tiny thing. So I'm gonna open my Unreal Engine here and then just go all the way down here. There, go to content browser input folder. Let's go to the content browser input folder. I have a bunch of inputs, but I'm gonna go ahead and let's say right click. I think that's right? Right. Okay, that is right click. And then I want to go ahead and create an action input. So I'm gonna go with something like an input action. Okay, which is going to be called something like I underscore dash. There. And then step 5, open it and set the value to type boolean. Okay, that makes sense. The reason it is set to digital boolean, which is set to it by default, is because, let me get that here real quick, there we go. That is because, whatchamacallit, initially everything is set to boolean, but if it's like vector or something, for example, let's go to something like my action input. If I were to double click this, it's still set to, oh, it's jump, no wonder. Alright, but let me find something good. I underscore look. Here, I think look is going to be set to 2D vector. There we go. The reason it's set to 2D vector is because I want to be able to look either in the x-axis or y-axis. The only time we use boolean is when we're working with one presses. For example, jump. I click one button. True if I jump, false if I did not jump. If that made any sense. Now let's get back here. Okay, and then next up, screenshot memory, I've done that. Compile the code, assign IA dash in character blueprint. So let's go with Control Alt F11 to compile the code. Let's wait for it to compile real quick. Shouldn't take that long, to be honest. Okay, is this still compiling? I think it is. Whoa, build error. Dash duration. I see. Oh wait, I forgot to check what line. Control Alt F11. Okay, so it says 161, so 161 in my C++ file. Okay, so I can go all the way up here, 161. I think Gemini went over this. Actually, Claude went over this. Can move, can't move. Okay, what if I would have like just copied that, highlight this part and see if that makes a difference. Did it. Let's hit Control S to save the code. Go open Unreal Engine, Control Alt F11 real quick. Okay. Okay, it's the same error again. Let me just go ahead and see dash duration. Undeclared identifier dash duration. Did I name it something else? Let's go to my header file. TURA. Oh, I see. I didn't hit Control S to save the code. Okay, tiny mistakes, very lethal. Control Alt F11. Before I really go with Control Alt F11, I want to hit Control C. There. Then let's hit Control S. Now if I were to go ahead and compile the code, this should work. Okay, that's like a very tiny mistake, but it's very crucial. Gotta save your code every single time. Okay, this is gonna work. It still didn't. Syntax error. Okay, at least it's a different error now. So it says syntax error for parentheses right there, 161. Syntax error. How did I get a syntax? Oh, I see. Okay. Set timer, it starts there. Second function. Lambda, third function. And this is supposed to be my fourth function. There. Let's hit Control S to save the code. Now, it shouldn't give me any more errors. So let's compile the code. Okay, let's see. This should actually work. There we go. Results exceeded. Perfect. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and extend my details panel from the left side. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and type something like input. There. Is it called input? Let me go back to my function calls. Okay, so what is my function called where I saved my IA underscore jump, which is basically my move action. Okay, I mean dash action. It is saved inside of an inputs as categories, so I think that's correct. It should be for my IA underscore look. Duh, duh. Alright guys, I'm clicking the wrong thing real quick. Who do I click for my look action? Maybe my character class, right? It's inside of my character. Oh, it is inside of my character. Okay, let me find the character. Hold up. Okay, so do you guys see a character somewhere here? What was the name of my character here? I see what you guys mean when you guys say it's gonna get a bit harder. So what is my character called? He's called practice underscore UMG character. So it's called UMG character. Playground? Definitely not in the playground. Wait, my UMG character, the only time I actually see it is when... There, I think it's that. Nope. I don't see input anywhere. Which character is it? I know it's a character. Is it this? That? Okay, let's go here. Let's go to characters, mannequins, anime material, meshes. I think it's meshes. That is my character. Okay, well, I guess I'm gonna go ahead and get Cloud back up here. Let me see something like... Okay, sensei, whoops. Say, so I did create an IA underscore dash input action, although who do I even assign it to question mark, because I do let's say have a UMG character, but I do not see him in my outliner. The way that I used to do this before, when I had a blank project, is that I used to just click my characters instance on my class, and when I typed input, I saw all the inputs, if that made any sense. That is the way I binded whoa. Since when did my... okay, I used to do that before when I had... Don't see him in my outliner. The way that I used to do this before when I had used a blank project was that I set all my content to a character class, and then I set all my content to a character class, and then when I typed input in the details panel, I could assign my IA underscore move, for example, to my move action, if that makes any sense. But I do not see any input section in either of my instances in my outliner to select SELECT and look for inputs section. Okay, if that made any sense, guys, I phrased that absolutely awfully. I don't know how else to phrase it. Good question. This trips everyone. The reason you can't find it, the reason you can't find it is because of this line in our header files. uClass abstract a Practice class, public. See that word abstract? Abstract equals this class cannot be placed in the world directly. You must use a blueprint child of it. Your character lives inside a blueprint, not directly in the level. That is where you assign your input actions. Here's exactly what you need to do. Step 1. Find your character in Blueprint in Unreal Engine 5's editor, content browser, third person, blueprints. Look for something called BP underscore third person character. Screenshot me your third person character. Screenshot me your third person folders as content. Step 2. Once you open the blueprint, click the blueprint, look at the top left class defaults button, click that class default. On the right side, details panel. Search input. You will see jump action, move action, look action, dash action. Oh, I see. Step 3, assign that. Step 4, add input mapping context. Wait, are we using legacy mapping? Because I thought legacy mapping is pretty old. Content browser, find your IMC defaults, mapping context. It's probably called IMC default. Open and click the add a new mapping context, IA underscore dash. I don't really need to. Oh, it's okay. Never mind. It's enhanced inputs. My bad, guys. I thought it was something else. Okay, so I'm gonna go up here in the content browser. I gotta find third person. There. Blueprints. Third person character. Select that. Okay, so once you find the third person character, blueprints, look for something called BP underscore third person character. I am here. Screenshot me. Step 2. Once you open the blueprint, click on the blueprint. Look at the top left. Okay, class defaults button. Do you guys see a class defaults button? Click class defaults. I think it's here. There we go. I'm in class defaults. On the right side, there is the details panel, search input. Oh, I see. There we go. Okay, this is wow. There are so many actions that are created for me. IA underscore. Why do I have two IA underscore dashes? Okay, assign IA underscore dash. I have two dashes. Should I go with this? Why do I have two dashes? Hold up, guys. That does not seem correct. Let me go up here. Did I create two dashes by mistake? I see dash action. Okay, let me go to my Unreal Engine this content drawer. If I were to go to input, I just have one IA underscore dash. Why do I see two here? I mean, that's fine, I guess. I see a move. I see a mover. I'll go with this dash. Okay. And then next up, add input mapping context, content browser, inputs is folder. I'm going to compile. And then let's go to my content browser. I'm going to go to something like input. I'm going to right click. And then let's go ahead and add something like input mapping context. Let's go with something like input mapping. Okay, well, I'm going to delete this. Let's go with input mapping context. Guys, this new keyword is so annoying. INPUT. There, I'm going to go ahead and call it something like IMC underscore DEFAULT, which is IMC underscore default. And as it already exists in this, I'm so stupid. Let's delete this. I already have a IMC default. Why was I? Okay, well, let's double click this. I guess I'm going to go under my mappings, add a mapping. I'm going to add a mapping here. And let's say I'm going to set this to something like IA underscore dash. I have two dashes. Which one should I select? Okay, maybe I'm going to go to my content drawer and then change my IA underscore dash to look something else. Because I might already have a dash up here. Touch. Maybe I'm going to change the name to something like IA underscore. Whoops, content browser. I'm going to change the name. Let's rename it to something like IA underscore. Let's go with IA underscore dash. Okay, let's go with something like do dash. Just to be sure that I'm correct. I'm gonna go here. There we go. IA underscore do dash. Even though the name is not as correct, it's like I know it works. Okay, and then I'm going to go to content browser. I'm going to go to IMC default. I'm going to change that to IA underscore do dash. Okay, in my do dash, find the IMC input mapping context, probably call this, click plus, add new mapping, and then hit save. Okay. But first, go find the third folder. Let me get plot up here real quick and say done with everything. And say okay, and then let's just go ahead and enter. Okay, the reason I actually knew this was because I did this a lot before, but I've never done it with a blueprint class. Let's test it. Press play in Unreal Engine 5. Do this. Does your character dash forward? Press left shift key. Hold left shift key repeatedly. Did I really set it to left shift key? I don't remember doing so. Left shift key. Can I even walk? Oh, I can't even walk. Wait, hold up. Control Alt F11. Let's compile the code. Okay, let's see if I can walk. I think I stole my ability to walk. There we go. Patch creation successful. Wow, I cannot walk. Okay, maybe I go to my third person character here and then I underscore do dash. Well, I guess let's get plot here. Let's say something like, let's say, I think that I might have messed up a little. I can't walk in general now. And for the left shift key, don't you think that we needed another function to do so, question mark? Like having a function called something like left shift key pressed, okay, and then a boolean variable called b is left shift key pressed. Okay. Call something like left shift key pressed. Okay, let's go with something like rest. And left, let's go with something like left. Oh guys, the small keyboard is so annoying. Shift key released. Shift key released. Okay, and then let's hit something like enter, because that's what I usually did for enhanced inputs and all that stuff. This is kind of odd. I mean, it could be because this is like a third person. Okay, two things. Let me address both. Question two. First, because you're actually thinking like a programmer. What you suggested, okay, I did do this. Your instinct is good, but here's why we don't need it. Left shift key is just a trigger. IA dash, IA underscore dash is that to trigger event started, which means it fires once when pressed. We don't need to release the button. The timer handles the dash, not the key. If we're building sprint, yes, you'd be right. Sprint needs a press and release. Dash just needs a single trigger. Okay, write the distinction down. Dash, single trigger. Okay, sprint holds, press, release. Ah, I see. Now, the real problem, you can walk. This is almost certainly one of three issues. Possible one, input mapping context conflict. Left shift might be conflicting with your existing movement binding in your input mapping context. Possible issue 2, launch character overriding movement. Launch character dash direction dash strength to true. Those two true values. First true overrides XY velocity, second true overrides Z velocity. This might be killing a movement. Possibility 3, boolean is dashing, never resets. Okay, I need you to do these three things right now. Number one, tell me, did you lose walking before or after pressing shift? Okay, lost it before. Let's go with something like I lost movement before pressing shift. Okay, and also I had a IA underscore dash already in my program, so I changed the IA underscore dash that I created to be called IA underscore 2 dash. just so the names were different. If the names are different, it's better to distinguish between them. Number two, check your input mapping context. Open IMC default, screenshot me all the mappings inside of it. Okay, step three, check your blueprint. Open DP underscore existing class default, screenshot me everything. Well, I guess I can screenshot everything here. What are these? Wow, I did not know something like this exists. Let's go with Windows Shift S, take a quick little picture. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and grab plot here. Let's paste that there. Okay, and then screenshot me the input section. So I'm gonna go to content browser. I'm gonna go to input. I'm gonna go with Windows Shift S. Okay, and then lastly, I gotta go ahead and take a picture from my IA underscore move as well. DASH. I think I spelled it wrong. There. Okay, to be called IA underscore do dash. That's gonna be changed. That's gonna be movement dash. Correct. Okay, perfect. And then I'm gonna go to IMC default. Here's the thing. Oh. Shift. Left shift. Oh. My bad. Okay, it works. Hold up. Okay, whoa. Wait, hold up. Okay, and then wait, let me just say something like, and oh, I just realized I forgot to add a button to trigger my dash on my mapping context. Now I can dash, but I cannot walk. Okay, let's see. Okay, I can see the problem. Two issues, fix both. Number one, I underscore do dash. Not in your IMC yet. I can see your input folder. Okay. Do dash is not mapped to a key yet. Open IMC underscore default and screenshot me what's inside of it. Okay, I mean, I think everything inside the IMC underscore default is correct, right? That does have do dash. Let's go with Windows Shift S. There. This shouldn't be that hard actually. Let's paste it. Okay, issue 2, you lost walking before pressing shift. This is more important problem. Look at your blueprint screenshot. I can see everything looks correctly assigned. The walking issue is your C++ code. I need you to make sure it looks exactly like this. Okay, let's send this. Okay, screenshot my full setup player component function in your do dash function. I think everything is correct inside of my input. Okay, make sure dash is correctly declared. It is correctly declared. Do dash, and I have a move. I guess let me take a look at my code real quick. Okay, because I do know how to get this to work as well. Organized inside of input. Move action must be organized. Let's go here to my content browser. Wait, why do I not see a move action here in my IMC underscore default? I mean, I guess I could go ahead and get that to work, right? Or I could get it to work here as well. Potentially, I see a move action. Okay, content browser, these are actions, and that is mouse action, that is move action, which is a 2D vector. I don't see it linked in my IMC default. Do I have a IMC default somewhere here? Nope, that's the only one. Well, I guess let's add a move action. So I'm gonna click the plus icon. Let's go ahead and add something like IA underscore move. I wanna move when I click either W for W S A D. W is forward and backward, so I'm going to go ahead and add a modifier of a Swiss input axis value. S is in y-axis too, so I'm going to add a modifier of a Swiss input axis value and a negate modifier because I want to go in the negative direction of my Swiss input axis value. There we go. There we go. Okay, perfect. And then A, D is going to be having a negate. How do I know this? I've been working with move like the move function way too much. Okay. There. And now let's hit Control S to save the code. If I were to run the program, worked. Okay, that's what I'm saying. It's actually kind of peak. Whoa. Wait, can I like spam it? How can I move so much from up here? Bam. Okay, worked. Okay, well, let me say something like, Sensei, it worked. I just had to add a move action to my IMC underscore default. There we go. Okay, that wasn't as hard. Let me just go all the way up here. There we go. Okay, let's go. Did you realize we just did all that cool stuff? Okay. Now test all three things before we move on. WSD movement, left shift, dash spam prevented, all confirmed. So let me say something like everything works. Okay, because my dash can be spammed as well and all that stuff. But I want to get more practice with more mini projects. Okay, stream, look what just happened. Now pick your next mini project. Which one do you want to tackle next? Choose wisely. I'm going to get an option here. Knew it. Which mini project do you want to start with? Health system, stamina system, sprint mechanic, hold shift to sprint. Connects dash and sprint. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and say something like, maybe sprint mechanic. Speaking of sprint mechanic, I gotta actually work on making meshes. Okay, but this time I do it differently. Last time I told you exactly what to write, and actually I might work on adding all these mini projects next stream, because this stream I think I'm almost done with my time. There we go. Okay, and I just want to get this one thing done. I will be working more on making the meshes off stream, because usually I do make them on Tuesdays and all that stuff, but I do gotta make some off stream as well. And I do have like some exams as soon as my spring break is over. So let's say something like Sensei. You see dot. That said, it sounds like a fun part, so I will be working on the let's say several mini projects next stream, because this stream I feel like I do got to go, not because I have lots of things to do and that I am very busy, but that I want to get some work done for my college. Okay, that I will need for my exam. Okay, that's it. I will let you know as soon as live again. There we go, guys. This new keyboard is so annoying to use it. Like, I feel it's so small, but I think it actually is kind of good. How did I copy everything up here? I didn't know we could copy and send it. Okay, well, I guess let's restart. Okay, well, I guess Vlad is thinking. Okay, but before you go your homework, what variables does sprint need? I do know the variables. There's going to be a variable that checks if I'm currently sprinting or not. Actually, that's basically the variable that is going to be needing. And maybe a variable that checks, no, those are functions, but do I need a U property variable? Let's see. I might need a sprint speed, so I would need a sprint speed function as well. Actually, not function, a variable that sets my sprint speed to, let's say, be something like maybe 2000. So I increase my current speed, which is 1000 units per frame, to 2000 units per frame, because I want to be faster while I sprint. Okay, look at what she's accomplished today. All the basic stuff. I need more practice with the lambda function. I think I got the basic idea of the virtual and override function. Shipped a working mechanic. Okay, fixed your own code, debugged your own code. That was pretty good. Next stream we build sprint mechanic, health system, and stamina system. Honestly, I think that's not really impossible. It might be pretty easy because I have a basic grasp of how these things work. But I'm going to be working those in a project that already has code because this is a 3D project. For that, I'm going to go ahead and save everything. And now let's move on to my main camera. Alright guys, so basically that was pretty much it for this stream. And let me know if it improved the stream quality, just having like one stream on YouTube. If you prefer is to like stream horizontally and vertically, let me get in the center of my screen. Okay, that's it. If you guys did enjoy the stream, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, like it from my algorithm, share, reach this spot, subscribing, like it, share it top. That said, I did start multi-streaming on Twitch, YouTube. I will start multi-streaming on TikTok and Instagram as well. So if you guys do enjoy my content there and haven't followed me yet, make sure to follow me. The link is going to be in the description. You guys can get access to my link of my socials by tapping exclamation social on chat through my bio or the link in the description. Also, make sure to join my Discord server. That's where I usually talk to you guys, chat with you guys, have different conversations, give you guys my roadmaps. The link is going to be in the description and the pinned comments. Maybe I forgot to add it in the pinned comments. Although the link of my Discord server will be in my bio as well, and you guys can get access to it by tapping exclamation Discord on chat. That said, I'll get you guys next live stream or video.